feels like the draft. Drafty, 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 drafty. Drafty, 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 drafty. Drafty, 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 drafty. Draft, draft, draft. Drafty, 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 drafty. Drafty, 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 drafty. Drafty, 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 drafty. It feels like the draft, 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 draft.
Welcome to the Miami Heat Beats Postgame Show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas. And with me today, we got a very jolly Saucy Takes, Coach Lou.
So let me tell you guys, right? I just started digging into the draft because all hope has been lost for the season. I didn't know, right? He was 17 until like December. Crazy, guys.
Yeah,
crazy.
Much to think about.
Just tune in. The more you know. Cooking
the more
people.
you know. The more you know.
At 17.
We got
Look.
Franky G, co-founder of Stream Beat and Draft Beat.
Tankathon, working it right now. We're trying to get the top 2 pick. Let's go.
Okay. And we got Kyle Scarlett of IQ Hoops and Miami Heat Beat.
What's going on?
Listen, the fact that they lost to Joe Cronin's Blazers and Damian Lillard in back-to-back games is biblical. It is at the twilight of the Jimmy trade saga. It is biblical. It is as embarrassing as it gets. And Milwaukee came into this game. What did they have? An hour and a half to get ready for the game. I mean, they basically flew in from New Orleans into town up in Milwaukee. Didn't really get to warm up properly or anything, or any of those guys have their normal game routine. And they start a little slow. Pell Larson starts, double bigs. It's going great. Second, the bench starts to come in. They get run off the floor, and they're never in the game again. That end to that half was as disastrous as I've ever seen. And we're just kind of left with a lot of questions about the future, a lot of, is anybody going to be here past 3 years type thing? And I don't want to put too much into a regular season game in late January, because at the end of the day, a lot is swirling around this team, Lou. A lot is happening. Jimmy Butler questions every day. There's an uncertainty, and you have a third of your cap just not on the floor. Lou, this is as embarrassing as it gets, in my opinion. I think on national TV, when Tyler's trying to make an all-star push, all that stuff, this is just flat out disgraceful, embarrassing, and every shitty feeling that we can feel. That's it.
Yeah. This sucks, guys. This really fucking sucks. I mean, it's different because the season has been a myriad of ups and downs. It's been a roller coaster ride, but this shit is like, the amusement park is closed at this point. Like, this is horrible right now. I don't even know, like, what do we take away from this? Like, it's so little to take away in terms of what this team is doing, because they don't know what they've been doing. Like, am I glad they lost at this point? Yes. I don't care. Like, this is, what are we going to do with this team, G? Like, I mean, without Jimmy, they don't have it. Like, they just don't have it. Without Jimmy and 30 minutes of Terry Rozier, or even 10, that's 58 minutes of nastiness.
It's just
however minutes he plays.
That's just ass. Rozier played 25 minutes tonight.
Too many.
25 too many. Was minus 24. The only one who was working.
That's an elite stat. Almost a whole -1 per minute played.
I mean, that's insane.
That's his average lately.
I mean, they're literally bleeding minutes. I'm going to say something. I think the worst player in the league. When he passed to nobody coming off the pick and roll, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You don't play defense. You don't do anything. I don't understand. He threw 3 decent lobs all game, and at this point, it looks like anybody could throw a lob to Ware. So I don't even know how much stock we could put into that. I think we could put fucking Alf out there, and Alf could throw a fucking pinpoint lob to Ware, because you just got to throw it in the vicinity of the rim. I mean, Duncan missed a 3 so bad the other day that Ware just caught it and fucking put it in the basket.
Hey, like Crypto Time Traveler says, if Rozier's in the deal, I'll take Beal in the 3 first.
At this point, When are the Heat gonna just suspend Rozier? Because Butler's been suspended for contact detrimental to the team. Minus 24 and 25 minutes has to be worse. I don't know.
He's been pardoned already. Like, there's nothing we can do. Like that, he's been pardoned.
He
for his
has been
crimes.
pardoned.
He's been pardoned. Yeah, he's been. I just. What can we get? What can we get him for? I feel like we're the fucking DA office. Like, what can we get? Listen, if there's one thing the FBI is good at, it's just getting an innocent black man in jail.
Oh, too close to MLK.
I mean, fuck.
Wait until March.
I know, right?
It's not February.
I was gonna say February, but I was
It's
like,
not February. I did it before. It was after
suspended for
MLK Day.
talent.
After MLK Day, before. No, but like I'm being serious, dude. He is. Kyle, you're laughing. What the fuck does he do? Except come in the game and absolutely kill vibes. He is, without a doubt, the vibe assassin. We're talking about Zodiac killer. This man's the vibe killer.
Literally, I had people in chat last just you're crapping on him. No. I'm not crapping on him. He craps on himself every time he takes the floor.
That man has norovirus. Like, he's shitting all over the place.
Bad. No IQ basketball. Like he's part of the reason I came up with intangible IQ hoops, because bad IQ basketball. Just like he doesn't make any high IQ basketball plays. Like, he gets on the floor and is like, you know what? I'm at Rucker. Like, no, brother. They at least make shots at Rucker.
Yeah, hit it with the hard R.
Hey,
brother.
Dude, we have somebody in
don't
chat.
put my picture up after saying that.
Dave D's on Twitch subscribed with Prime for 17 months and said Terry is not innocent.
It just,
brother.
That's what he gets. I have to be as straightforward as possible, because like he frustrates me. There's a play, he's coming down the court, Jaime is wide open, and he just kind of dribbles into a step back, and I'm like, dude, you know what? In fact, you know what? I understand.
I know exactly the step back you're talking about, and it prompted me to tweet. You know, when Goran Dragic used to do that, it was good.
You know,
this guy just does a step back when does he think he's James Harden?
You know
like, what the fuck?
You know what it is? It's a microcosm of the description of what his game is like. Always a step back. It's always bad. It gets worse and worse and worse. Every game it gets worse. How are you a minus 24? Minus 24. You played 24 minutes. You racked up being a net negative on the floor for every minute you were on the floor. How's that possible?
Kyle, it was crazy because like the second he came on, they just started sucking. It was bad. It was just.
Does he like basketball?
I don't.
Does he like? I can't imagine he likes hoops.
I've dedicated my life to the sport, and he makes me hate the sport.
Hey, he took, no exaggeration, I had to rewind it and pause and go back in. He took a shot with 19 seconds on the shot clock. It was a fadeaway layup. 1-on-5. Whole Bucks defense is set. The Heat are going down the court. That man does not deserve no pardon.
And by the way, chat, no ice jokes on Jaime. Not funny right now. So we're not doing that. So just a heads up. We're gonna time people out in chat for anything like that, because we're not making those jokes right now, especially given that those motherfuckers are in hospitals and shit terrorizing people. So
at schools and churches and shit.
Yeah, let's just stick to the basics and get Terry Rozier in jail.
Yeah. Get him suspended. He should be allowed to travel to Canada.
Why can't he be missing the team flight? That's what I tweeted that out the other day. I go, what, man? Could you imagine how much better today would be if Jimmy made the flight and he didn't?
I mean, the vibes can't be any worse.
I mean, this game was beyond Terry, obviously. Like,
no, it was. I mean, he's the low hanging fruit, Kyle, because like obviously, like the start. I mean, at the end of the half, I mean that was
6
Tyler.
for 21 from 3 to end the first half of the game. You're not going to win many games shooting 6 for 21.
And I thought they got good looks. I don't know how you guys felt. Like I thought They got really good action. I thought a lot of their guys missed a lot of good open threes. And I think the end of the second quarter absolutely derailed them. And then the start of the third was just awful. They just couldn't make anything. Obviously there's going to be nice that you don't hit shots. But today was just like, wow.
I think they got way too 3-point happy. They took 51 threes. And they shot 23%. Yeah, that's awful. You're not a 3-point team. You have two shooters who are reliable, and they both had off nights, and you just settled a lot. There were so many possessions where the ball didn't touch the paint repeatedly, and they just kept swing, open shot, but attack. You're bailing them out. Your shots aren't falling. Be aggressive. And they shot well at the rim. According to Cleaning the Glass, they shot 81.8% at the rim tonight. That's 19 for 22. Why are we not attacking more? That's where they lose me, where they settle, they bail the defense out, and it's quick, long rebounds. The other team gets to go out and transition and push and stupid shit like that. That's where that's where I feel like they need a point guard the most, because they get into this just free flow, swing. Let's take another three, and you're not going to win consistently like that with a team that's not this good of a shoot. Does not have enough shooters.
They don't, Frankie, and I think they're at their best when they get threes off of penetration, off downhill action, off rollmen who find guys off the short roll. This exactly what you're saying. This perimeter passing into kind of step in three. I mean, Lou, it's just not good offense. And I actually think I want to talk about some of the stuff they did well today, because they're playing differently, right? Because when they play two bigs, they play differently. And I want to say a few things. I love Pell Larson and the energy he has, especially on the glass. I think Khalil Ware, I love to see him crash, especially on offense. And I think Sam Van Gundy said today, that's kind of, Heat are doing great on the offensive glass. That's not like them. It's because they're new. I like the way that they play. I like those elements to their game now. I like when Bam rebounds and Khalil runs the floor. He's the first man down, and Miami has an advantage. There's a lot of good things that are kind of in this, Lou. And do you think that, do you think today was more growing pains of this new offensive system with these new kind of lineups? Or do you think that this is just listen, they're going to have limitations because of the guys that they have?
No, this is 100% growing pains. Mm-hmm. Right now
we're mad, but also let's try to find a silver lining.
Honestly, I'm not upset that they lost today. And not even for the tanking things. I feel like me, Moose, and Frankie, at least on MHB, have been aware that this season was not going to be a pretty season regardless, just because of this Jimmy situation.
Yeah.
So you had to go through some of these growing pains.
Shout out to Tyler.
Yeah, shout out to Tyler, and Goins pains. Shout out to Brian. But you had to go through some of these, and you're going to continue to go through some of these, because as much as we want to win now, sometimes you have to do like Terry and take a step back, but then don't do it like Terry and then, take a couple steps forward in the long term. Realistically, this is the outlook that I had for this team, was something like this at some point this season. So this isn't a shocker to me. I'm okay with them going through these growing pains. I'm okay with them finding their niches, finding their weaknesses, polishing some of their strengths, doing some of these things that it's not for this playoff run. It's probably not for next year. This is for 2-3 years down the line, to be able to field a competitive team and get back to where we were, just 2 seasons ago. And I'm not saying that's possible, but you have to let some of these players play. Khalil's getting a lot of minutes. Great. That's what you drafted him in the first round for. Larson got some minutes today, and then the ref said, no, we don't want to see you. So then he went to the bench. That's fine. But you need some of these, Nico got minutes, Jaime got minutes. You need to see which one of these guys you want to keep long-term and fit into your long-term play. And how are you going to build around, and who are you going to help build around? Right now they have so much uncertainty and so much just doubt with this franchise and with this build and with their future build, that you need to have these instead of I like that Carlitiana says define roles, guys. I think it's got to be the opposite. I think you got to let the guys define their own roles. Like right now, you can't box any of these players in. You have to just let them go out there and do whatever they want, do it within a system, but not constraint to just their strengths. Let them do their weaknesses. This includes Bam too. Like, guys, Bam needs to grow as a player, so he needs to take all these bumps and take all these roads on a losing team. Like, they need to just go out there and play basketball and let the chips fall where they may.
You know, I like that. I like that you said that because we had a conversation the other day with Siobhan, and it was about Nico, and and Lou and I have talked about this a lot off air. How you guys see a lot of Nico that I am not there yet, right? And this is not to have a conversation about Nico, but I told Bon, and I go, one of the reasons why I respect Siobhan's eye for talent so much and for player development is because I tend to focus on what guys can't do. And Bon always looks at what guys can do. And I'm trying to reframe the way that I look at the game and in kind of that lens, because I think that, you know, we can get stuck. I know, especially me, I can get stuck in like, I think that like the way that basketball should be played, or like the most optimal way is, you know, this way, right? Like I really like a shooting wing at the 4, and like I like certain things about the game, but that's not the only way. And, you know, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. And Kyle, one of the things that I was watching today with, I was never a fan of like 2 big lineups. And I think that there are problems that they could provide, especially with the big like Bam, who doesn't have much of a perimeter game. But I'm watching today and kind of to lose points of like, hey, like guys got to take their pumps and we got to look at their strengths and their weaknesses and play to their strengths. You know, I mean, why don't we lean into just getting really big? Why can't Nico play some 3, Bam and Ware up front? Let's get really big. I was like, Nico has some perimeter ball skills. You know, you can put Haywood out there as well. Like, you know, there's a lot of things, you know, if Tyler's the smallest guy, you know, like there's like ways that you can, okay, we have these guys. Let's try to play to some of our strengths. Like Jimmy's not here anymore. Let's get weird.
Let's get creative.
I think it's a twofold thing. It's a twofold thing. Number one, it's a coaching thing. It's been a while, and this is not to, because I don't think Spo's beyond criticism. However, I do think he hasn't had to coach a really young team in a long time. And so this is a different thing. The expectations of getting to a championship and building a roster that's gonna matriculate all the way to the conference, like that's not this roster. It's not this roster at all. It's not this roster. So the expectation has to change. He has to be a little bit more innovative. He has to get back into his bag of, this is different. I have different players with different skill sets. I would love to see him kind of buy into that. The second part of that is, and this is I said twofold, but I think it's threefold. This is kind of a sub here. Our fans are really prepared for growing pains because see, I covered a little bit of the Thunder last year, and everyone's like, "Oh man, the Thunder were number 1 in the West." Da 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 da. But they didn't start off number 1 in the West. They had some losing seasons up on, not to talk about the Thunder specifically, but they had some losing seasons until they rounded out what they are now. I'm not saying that the Heat have to do it exactly the same as far as a specific formula. They can do it in the Heat way. But in order to do that, they have to lose point, let the guys play. Play your guys, see what you're getting out of them, see what they can contribute, play faster, play with some athleticism, something that we haven't had in a while. Like, I think we were second to last in pace. Was it second to last in pace last year? Just not playing fast enough, not being, be able to attack a little bit quicker, get to spots faster. And one thing that I think would be important, especially if you're going to play the 2 big lineup, is one, you let Ware get his lumps. You know, he's going to take some shots. I think, he airballed a couple threes tonight. That's just a rhythm thing. Especially if you're considering the college game 3 is not the same as the NBA 3. That he can take the shot and make some of them. As far as Bam is concerned, I just think he needs to get into a rhythm. This is completely different. He hasn't had a front court partner in I'm not counting Myers Leonard and Kelly Olynyk as front court partners. He hasn't had a useful guy who can defend the rim while he does what he does best, switching wise. And so I think there's a lot that can happen. And if you're a team that's in transition, especially if you talk about Jimmy being gone, there's a whole lot of guys whose roles shift in their heads. Like, Jimmy's not here. He's not going to get 25 shots. He's not going to get 15 shots. He's not here. How can I carve out my own role here? So that's Nico. That's Pella. That's Kashad when he gets minutes. That's, the young guys. And I think like eventually they'll round out that stuff. I think Pella needs more minutes for that 3-ball to drop. I think that's some of what people are like, oh, he's missing open shots. Yeah. When you go from not playing and you get DMPs to playing and then playing again, it's a rhythm thing. Players have to get into a rhythm, and not everybody finds a rhythm in the same way. So I hope Spo opens his mind back up a little bit, because I think that will fully unlock what this team could be potentially.
Let's talk a little bit about Khalil Ware to close out the show, because there's not too much I think that we can take from this game tactically. Franky, I mean, he puts up another double-double, 22, 10, and 2. I think today was probably one of his worst defensive games of the season. But, that'll improve as time goes on. And I think looking at rookie bigs and being harsh on their defense is a little bit of a mistake. Even Wemby, had some rough patches his rookie year on defense. But, he's a guy that I think has just the way that he's come on, it really reminds me of Hassan Whiteside. He's really figured out the rebounding thing rather quickly. He's impacting the game on both ends of the floor. Even if he's struggling defensively, he'll make plays at the rim. I think that he has kind of a little bit of that make shit happen element that I think really Caleb was kind of the guy, like athletically for a little bit before it kind of left him. Like they didn't really have a guy. I mean, that guy's just a straight athlete. I think he has unlocked some of their old kind of plays that they used to run. Like they're running a lot of double drag again with him and Bam and Hero. They're putting him in horns a lot. And I think kind of the element of him shooting is really interesting. I think him being on the weak side while Bam is running action on the strong side is interesting, Franky. So I think that he has just been a revelation for them. And he has really been the lone bright spot along with Hero in an otherwise pretty dreadful stretch.
Yeah, he had another productive game, and that's what you want to see.
I think that's a great way to call it, a productive game.
Yeah, like if I've seen people on Twitter like, I got to start nutting up and just pick him up on fantasy already and start playing him because he's producing, and that's what you want to see. You want to see him produce and not look scared or complacent, and he's been unafraid. Took 7 threes, and even though he didn't shoot the ball well from deep, he took them, and we want to see him not be afraid to take them. 4 turnovers, like I don't care about the turnovers. I want him to see him play. I want to see him get minutes. This is a lost season. You're not competing for a second round. You're not competing for anything. Play the kids. Play them a lot. I like that. In back-to-back games, you're getting blown out, and Ware still playing 35-plus minutes. Like, I like that. Like, just let him play, let him learn. I think Spo needs to experiment more. We talked in the chat about, you mentioned it briefly, Nico playing with these guys. Like, you got to see what works, what doesn't work. Like, you got to try shit out. You can't go from empowering Luke Babbitt to being afraid of fucking Nico and Ware making mistakes. Like, let them go, let them play a lot. That's one thing I will say. I haven't looked up the minutes, but it feels like the last couple games Ware and Nico haven't played together as much, and that's something. And Nico has kind of struggled today. So I would like to see them get back to some of that, and I want to see them play all 3 together. Throw the big lineups out there. There's no reason all the kids shouldn't be playing together.
I mean, Frank, and I think part of that, and Lou, I know you want to jump in here. Part of that, I think, is like, the more Ware plays with Bam, the less he's going to play with Jovic.
But and like, I know the numbers, like we don't have tonight's numbers included, but like it was a 32.99 net rating, but they shot 40% from 2. Like that's awful. That's all relying on the 3-point volume, and that's not sustainable. They need to figure some of the stuff out. And I think that
which 2-man lineup? What
I just have the PBP stats of the 27 minutes Ware and Bam played together.
Ware and Bam, gotcha.
Yeah, just those two on the floor together. Like 40% just from 2, 47% from 3. Like that's a lot of Duncan and Tyler Terry going crazy. That
a lot
Spurs
of Duncan.
game.
I mean, I watch. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that is.
Yeah, and that's what they need to like. The thing that works about the Warriors, and I'm not comparing them to the Warriors, but like for being 3-point reliant, if you overplayed the 3, they were getting a shot at the rim, and that's what the Heat have not struck that balance. They're taking 51 threes, and they're not getting to the rim consistently.
The only guy that does that is Duncan, because when they do overplay him, when they're at the level, at the handoff, or when that guy who is guarding him gets kind of hung up on the screen, then when he gets overplayed there, that's a dunk for Ware or Bam, but Ware especially every time. And I cannot believe the synergy that those guys have without many minutes together. It is remarkable.
Yeah.
And by the way, still a fire drill every time that guy comes off the screen. I was watching film today. It's been a while since I've like really dug into film, and it's just remarkable how I don't think there's a single Heat player that causes that kind of panic, even Hero. It is remarkable how teams are scared of him.
Yeah, because Duncan still will take way more contested threes than Tyler will, and that's what they're afraid of, and it's hard to contest because of the size. Yeah, and off movement. But like, well, we talked about this briefly in the chat today, but like they've got to work out more off-ball stuff because you don't have the talent to just space the floor like that. Normally, you have to move off the ball. You have to set off-ball distractions so that the on-ball stuff isn't driving into the help as well. Like you need to occupy the help some way, and you're not doing that with Bam as a shooter. You're still not doing it with Ware as a shooter either. Ware's hitting the shots and making them pay, but they're not respecting it yet. And once it gets scouted, we got to see if he can maintain that the efficiency. So they like this is I find it like I like that Kyle mentioned about Spo coaching this young of a team. I think this is like Spo's greatest test since the 30-11 squad, because he has to he doesn't have a Goran Dragic that can bring a consistent 3-level scorer on this team. Like Tyler's having a fantastic all-star worthy season. He's not a 3-level scorer still. He can get to the rim at times off attention, off overplays, but he's not driving to the rim, finishing and creating a fire drill like you love to say when he drives.
Go ahead, Lou.
No, Franky's completely right. Like Tyler's not putting the same level of pressure on the rim, thus creating, more lanes and more things for other guys. So they have to find some of this offense from other pieces. And it could just be such like Ware right now is hitting threes, yet his spacing isn't the best just because he's not getting guarded out there. In terms of like the complete offensive, like what it means for the rest of the offense. Same goes for Bam. Same goes for Highsmith when he plays. Same goes for a lot of their other guys who aren't maybe bad shooters. Like they've had good shooting seasons, but they're just not getting the same respect. So like the Heat have to find some of these ways. I have an idea of why they're not playing Nico next to these guys, because then who are you going to stagger them with? It's going to be a little bit difficult off the bench in terms of your staggering and stuff of that nature. But frankly, I don't give a shit. Like I really don't. Like you need to find a way to get these guys in there. And a lot has been said of Spo this season. Like guys, the roster wasn't good. This is the worst roster. This is the most turmoil he's ever been with in a regular season, at least since the Jimmy build. Like this has not been a good team all season. He's game planned for certain things and guys are in and out. Like it's hard for you to incorporate that, not just as a coach, but also like for the players. Like this is one of the toughest challenges. I think they're gonna, and this is one of the toughest stretches of the season. I mean, I know that they came off a loss of Portland. That was supposed to be one that they could have had, but like this is a tough stretch in the season. It's January. Guys are breaking down. You've had a lot put on Tyler's plate this whole season. You've had a lot put on Bam's plate this whole season. Like we need some of these guys to step up, and we need them to like cohesively get together as a team. They haven't had a long extended break yet, so it doesn't feel like Spo has fully incorporated everybody. I still think he's trying to figure out the lineups because when Highsmith doesn't start, he almost is a forgotten man in the rotation. So, like, there's a lot of kinks that need to be ironed out that typically would be ironed out by the All-Star break, but throwing all this wrench in with the Jimmy stuff, like, just makes it that much harder. So this should, like, they should throw everything at the wall this season and see what sticks so they can know what they're going to do going forward. If they make the playoffs, I guess, cool. And if they don't, that's fine too. Like, winning or losing is not the objective this season.
They're gonna be in the play-in, I think. I mean, the Philadelphia is so bad that I don't know how they tank their way out.
But that's the objective shouldn't be to, you know, like, realistically. I know they're always gonna want to say that we want to win. Like, long term for this team, the objective should be, okay, what growth have we gotten from Nico? What growth have we gotten from Khalil? What growth have we gotten from Pella? Has Jaime improved? Throw two-way guys in there. Like, you know, has Kashad gotten better? Did Isaiah Stevens take it? Like, even if they're not getting necessary NBA minutes, some of these guys, like, have they taken a step forward so in due time, when their number is called, they can provide some kind of help for this team? And it should not be focused on, and like, again, this is the situation Spoelstra's in. Like, as much as we don't, myself included, I hate Terry Rozier. He has to play him, guys. They traded a first-round pick for him. He's under contract for 2 more years. They need to try to recoup. Yeah, 1 more year after this. But still, they need to try to recoup some fucking value for this guy. Like,
I'm not with you there.
I mean, I get it, Frankie. Like, trust me. I'm not saying they should. If it was up to me, I wouldn't. But, like, you don't think the front office is telling Spo, buddy, you got to play him because we can't look this bad in the trade? You know how stubborn they are. They don't like to cut their losses.
No, and I'm sure there's agents
with Jimmy. So, like,
involved.
Exactly.
But, like, the 25 minutes, like, he doesn't need to be playing that. 15. Cap it.
That's fine. I agree with that. Some of it was garbage time, so I don't give a shit about that. But I mean,
why is Alec Burke not playing?
Why?
Like,
he doesn't need to be playing, G. I don't need anybody over the age of 28 years of age, unless your name is Bam Adebayo or Duncan Robinson, to be on the floor.
I think it's good to have, especially a guard like Burke. Like, when you have all these young guys, you know, you want, like, a vet to help stabilize lineups and, like,
it's Burke.
Like,
Duncan Robinson.
Burks. I wouldn't mind to see a little Alec Burks. Is all I'm saying. I think that
if it's over Terry, yeah. I mean, I don't.
That's
mind
what I mean. Like, why does Terry need to play 25? Why can't Burke
bring back
15?
Tyler Johnson if that's the case? I'd rather see TJ than Tyler. I mean, than Terry.
Tyler Johnson. You know, the reason why Dwayne Wade was gone was because Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, 50 million.
It's because Mickey didn't want to pay him.
No, because Dwayne wanted a 3rd year, and they're like, no, we got to give this money to Tyler Johnson because
also
Tyler came after
90. What is it? 95 million.
Tyler came after Dwayne. Yes, Tyler came after Dwayne.
Yes,
because Mickey didn't want to lose him too.
No, yeah. So it's ridiculous that they balked at Dwayne's 30 year and then gave Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, so that's on Mickey, not
more than Dwayne wanted in the 30. I think
so that's on Mickey and Pat.
21 million. Yeah, that's fuck you, Tyler Johnson.
That's on Mickey and Pat. Why are you still blaming the players for taking their money instead of fucking the guys giving it out?
And that's you know what? They wouldn't have paid Tyler Johnson if they didn't let him go into restricted free agency, which is what they shouldn't do with Nico. But that's for a different day.
Somebody in chat said Kyle Guy, and I wasn't sure if they were referring to Kyle, saying like
no,
or the
Kyle
player,
Guy over
Kyle
Terry.
Guy.
Call him back.
Or the player Kyle Guy.
Who ended up winning a championship in EuroLeague.
I miss Nick Stauskas.
Someone said,
where's 10-day Okaro White? Bring him back.
13 and Okaro.
As we wrap up here, I'm sorry to anybody who tuned in wanting analysis from the game. Not much going on there. Milwaukee kicked their ass. Shout out to you, Dame, for your triple-double. They're just better than Miami.
Chat just said get a random guy from the NBL. I watch the NBL, and them guys hoop, so I'm not going to lie. There's some point guards who would be beautiful on this roster.
A lot of them won't touch net, but they will hoop.
A lot of them what?
A lot of them won't touch net, but they will hoop.
Oh, I thought you had said something else. I was like, wait, what?
Whoa.
Listen here, Bert.
What's going on here?
Whoa.
Put that picture up again. It's so funny because I said this before the show started. It really looks like a Lou Baby picture that they Photoshop facial hair into. It's like
why are they fucking playing Terry Rozier so fucking much? God damn it!
Play
Nope.
Pell. Ref, respect the Pell.
Who's the guy on the right?
That's Pell Larson.
No way. That's Paul Larson.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Whose hair is that?
I want it to be known if I ever have a movie like that's in black and white, I want Frankie to do my voiceover.
Who
And
the
I'm not here.
hell? Whose hair is that?
Long Road Trucker Lou. I look like the dude from Looney Tunes, Piggy. I don't know his name. I don't
Insane.
remember.
That's from The Adventures of Pete and Pete. I can't believe you haven't seen that. You didn't grow up on that?
Who, me?
I'm
Yeah.
showing you.
That's where that's from.
It's not anime. Then I'm
Porky
not watching.
Pig. There you go. Look like Porky Pig with the hat on.
Then I'm not watching. Yeah,
I'm
guys.
hunting
So
talent.
you know,
This
rough
is what
one.
you're watching. That's not talent.
Ugh. No, I'm talking about the draft.
Why did we make that? Why did we make that picture?
That wasn't us. That was I took that from. So I forgot who I took that from.
Oh, you know, Hangover Time was so crazy. I was like, what did we preemptively make that? Like, what happened?
No,
We were
yeah, I think that was
light years
Azam.
ahead.
I was like, oh man,
Azam was trying to frame him.
we were I mean, we were playing Boston for a while. Yeah, so Brooklyn on Saturday. We may or may not cover that. I won't be here. Maybe if Frankie and the guys want to do the game, they can. The only sports I will be watching that day is Liverpool and Ipswich. So, oh yeah. So barring Jimmy news, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys Monday for Orlando, Miami, which is going to be a cesarean section of a basketball game. It's going to be pretty brutal to watch, but I will be here covering it. And we'll be, if Jimmy parade breaks, we'll be here. In the meantime, I'm going to Big Face and getting some coffee because at the end of the day, that man's better at coffee than he is at basketball. And I you know, we got stop review bombing Big Face. You know, at least for me, I see people review. I see people. I've seen people that are in our chat.
You guys are
Review
using your,
bomb Big
you
Face.
guys are using your same names that you use in chat to review bomb Jimmy.
Review bomb Big Face.
I can't stand you guys.
Hold on, I'm gonna call the person out because
Don't call him out. Don't call him out.
I saw this the other day and I go, no fucking way. People in our own chat are review bombing Big Face. Look at that. It's at 3.3 stars. That's crazy.
I was showing my friend the coffee that he actually makes coffee that's really good. It's good. And all my friends like it. And I saw the reviews and I saw this person's name. And I was like, no fucking way. What are
Dude, it was the same one because we both messaged each other.
It's not Schmeathan.
It's not Schmeathan. Oh, I know who it is. It's Ryan Sprevera.
God damn it, G. Why did you?
Why is he doing that? There it is. Ryan Sprevera writes, after using my debit card here, I was alerted by my bank that the card was used to purchase an assortment of cheap colored horsehair. What the fuck? That's our audience.
I'm gonna be honest, that's the highlight of the show. Just it is what it is.
I was like, because I had scrolling through the Big Face reviews, and I was like, is that fucking Ryan Sprevera from my Twitch chat?
I may say
that's like a fucking 4-year sub too. That guy is fucking diehard.
hey,
I think he's a mod.
He could have left a 1-star review. That was a 5-star banger. Like that's elite right there. Like
that was a 5-star
Jesus.
banger, dude.
Carlo Tiana said no, it was Terry. We can still blame him.
Oh my god.
cheap colored horsehair is crazy.
Bro, some of the reviews are funny. Somebody goes, coffee didn't help me bring my joy back. Another person, Laura Espinosa writes, get this awful coffee anywhere else but Miami.
Bro, we need to have an entire stream where we just read these.
I love this one guy goes, I love this place, and Jimmy himself. Bro, I had to counter. I had to write my own 5-star review. I was like, bro, I love that place. I don't want them to close. You guys are gonna bully Jimmy out of town.
It's apparently it stays packed. So
It's packed. I know. I took Tiff the other day. Tiff was visiting Miami. We went.
That's
Had a
why
nice
Jimmy's getting
sesame-
suspended. It's because he said, hey, I'll put in those hours over there. It's
Bro, that's
fine.
just so funny.
Oh my
Every
God.
time he's suspended, he just shows up and makes coffee. It's so funny.
I found one here that's fucking wild. This is from thingtesting.com. What does $70 coffee taste like? It tastes like a cup of mediocrity, similar to the plain career and downhill path of its owner. Big face coffee, more like big ego cat piss.
What?
People are mean.
I can tell you. Let me not. I'm not gonna.
Took the time to write.
I can
that.
tell you roughly what that person looks like.
We all know.
His thing is Tyler H.
No way.
I swear to God.
That's funny.
I was right.